We all love horror movies. Those chills that runs down our spine while watching horror movies is a different experience. But what if I tell you that there are many such incidents which happened in real life, on the sets of some of our most loved horror movies, that it's deemed that either those sets were haunted or cursed. So I am going to tell you some of those real haunted events that happened on the sets of some great horror movies. The Nun's director, Corin Hardy, claimed that he had his first supernatural experience while shooting the movie. The crew was shooting a scene in a 200-foot-long dark corridor filled with crosses in an actual underground Romanian fortress. He ducked into a pitch-black cell to watch from the monitors and saw a room full of what he assumed to be local crew members sitting behind him, watching along as well. After the scene played out, he turned back to see their reaction. No one was there. Corin claims there was only one door to the room, and it was right in front of him. The exorcism of Emily Rose's actors Jennifer Carpenter and Laura Linney said they faced some spooky incidents during the movie's production. Jennifer said her radio would switch on by itself at night, and one time it played Alive by Pearl Jam. Laura had the same thing happen to her, but with the TV instead of the radio. Annabelle and its sequel, Annabelle Comes Home, had some weird incidents, like injuries from falling lights and nosebleeds that went away after leaving the house, and the Annabelle doll changing its place by itself. They decided to bless the set in the end. In the first movie, the director John R. Leonetti said the first time he saw the demon in full costume, he was walking in a hall when a big glass light fixture that an actor was following fell on the actor's head. In the movie, the demon killed that person in the same hall. In the sequel, Madison Eisman said that the Annabelle doll moved on its own in the Warrens' bedroom, even though no one went in there. McKenna Grace said that on one of the first days, her nose started bleeding a lot, in the house they built for the movie. When she went out to clean it, it stopped. She also said that one of the trailers had a weird problem with the lights, that they wouldn't work, even though the crew checked it and found nothing wrong. Stephen King's directorial debut, Maximum Overdrive, was the scene of a pretty gruesome on-set accident. They were filming a shot where a murderous lawnmower was coming straight toward the camera, so planks of wood were used to angle the camera just right. Stephen insisted on keeping the blades in the lawnmower and for it to be going fast, making it visually more terrifying. Unfortunately, that meant that the lawnmower aggressively surged forward, chopping its way through the wood and shooting a splinter straight into cinematographer Armando Nanuzzi's eye, causing severe and permanent injuries. The Ring 2's director, Hideo Nakata, said they faced some weird events that were similar to what happened in the movie. He said water was a sign of evil in the movie. So, it was scary for him and the others when their office started to leak water a few days after they began shooting the movie. The water was coming out of the walls. Also, the costume designer had a close call on the Studio Universal lot when a big deer ran at her very fast. She said she would have been hurt if she was a bit closer. In the movie, there is a scene where deer try to kill Rachel and Aiden because of Samara. The Possession's cast and crew faced some strange incidents during the filming, not just off-camera, but also on-camera. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the star of the movie, said they experienced things like lights bursting and cold wind blowing in a sealed room, and a fire that burned all the props they had stored, including the fake dybbuk they used for the movie. They still don't know what started the fire, because there was no evidence of any electrical problems or deliberate burning. Many believe the set of the original Poltergeist trilogy, which came out in the 1980s, was cursed, attributing the long string of unfortunate circumstances that followed the cast and crew to the use of real, human skeletons in the first film. Neither the crew nor Jo Beth Williams, who was literally inside the pool with them, knew the skeletons were real, and not, in fact, just props. Before the final film was released, 4 cast members died, including the young girl who played Carol Ann herself, Heather O'Rourke. A 5th was brutally murdered over a decade later, and 1 more narrowly escaped their own death. Dominique Dunne, the 22-year-old who played Dana, was strangled in her driveway by an abusive ex. Julian Beck, who played Cain, died of cancer before the second film's release, and Will Sampson, who played Taylor, died at only 53 from post-operative kidney failure. Heather passed away at the age of 12 before the final film hit the big screen from a severe bowel obstruction. In 2009, Lou Perryman, who played Pugsley, was murdered with an axe in his home by an ex-con who wanted to steal his car. Richard Lawson, who played Ryan, was aboard U.S. Air Flight 405, which crashed after takeoff. Over half of the plane's passengers were killed by the crash, but Richard fortunately survived. While one technically can't attest all these tragedies to the set's curse, there does seem to be quite a significant amount of death and destruction surrounding it and its crew. So much so that one cast member did an exorcism of the second movie's set, trying to ease people's nerves. If you're liking the video so far, please show your love by liking the video and subscribing to my channel. The Exorcist is one of the most well-known potentially cursed movie sets ever. Many mishaps and tragedies befell the people involved in making the movie, such as serious injuries, fires, and even a murder. The first occurrence happened before filming had even begun. The set of the McNeil home, which was all ready to go for filming, burned down unexpectedly. The only room that survived was the room that belonged to Reagan, the possessed girl. The crew had to rebuild the set, which took 6 weeks to do. Further delays to filming occurred when 2 cast members, Max von Sydow, Father Lancaster Marin, and Linda Blair, Regan, lost close family members.
It's nice to show that collaborative effort, just to show how everything was done. You see that bed rocking and to see how that...
Additionally, an extra in the film, Paul Bateson, was an actual serial killer. Paul, who appears as himself in the cerebral angiography scene, was convicted of killing Variety reporter Addison Verrill in 1977. Police believed he'd actually killed several additional men as well, but he was not convicted for them due to a lack of evidence. According to Dr. Ajax George, who worked with Paul on The Exorcist, people were shocked. There was no inkling in his behavior that would raise any suspicion. He was very good with patients, and he was extremely smart. He was an asset to the department. The Conjuring paranormal activities seemed to be personal. While cast and crew reported things like waking up every morning at 3 a.m. and feeling watched, something that occurs in the movie, the most horrifying haunts happened to actors Vera Farmiga and Joey King. Vera allegedly found claw marks carved across her personal laptop while she was filming and didn't know how they got there. The very same claw marks appeared on her thigh one day shortly after she wrapped on the film. Christine, played by Joey King, developed a rare, severe blood disorder while working on the film, seemingly out of the blue. It was so intense that she had to go into the hospital before and after filming to get her blood drawn and tested, and had a high risk of internal bleeding. As Joey explained it, all the red platelets from my body were like drained. They were just gone. However, after she finished shooting the movie and made her way home, it all stopped. Joey has never had an issue with her blood again since. So, what do you think about these haunted horror facts? Are they made up or real? And how many of you already knew about these facts? Comment down in the comment section. Also, before you go, subscribe my channel. I will keep you hooked with more such interesting videos.